Good morning, and welcome back to Gaming with ADHD. Today we're going to take a look at Infinity from Corvus Belli. Now, it is our first look. I haven't really reviewed or done anything with it on the channel, and while normally you would expect somebody to take a look at the game or how it plays or some of the models, I'm actually going to start with something a little bit different. I'm going to start with the terrain sets. But why the terrain, you ask? Well, I'll get into that in a second. So, at Gen Con a few years ago, I was able to pick up Operation Ice Storm, the starter set for Infinity N3 at the time. It was a really good intro set for a game which I knew nothing about. And ever since then, I've picked up the new starter sets as they changed out factions each time, and they usually seem to do a new starter every single year. And so it was an easy way to expand my collection of models for Infinity. And also, one of the things that I really liked even back then was that they included terrain that made the table more interesting than just some scatter pieces, because they actually included cardboard buildings that were, at the time they weren't much more than simple boxes, but starting with their Operation Wildfire set, which was the last intro set for Infinity N3, which is their third edition, they really improved what they were providing. So, starting with Wildfire, and currently in Operation Caldstrom, and even in the upcoming starter set that I believe is going to be out in August or September of 2021, Corvus Belli has been including this upgraded pack-in terrain system. The terrain is made from heavy cardboard. It includes a variety of design elements that just fit the theme of Infinity, but they also look great for use with any other science fiction game system. Personally, I could easily see this terrain being used for games of Dead Zone or Stargrave, or even if you wanted to use it for role-playing games like Shadowrun or Cyberpunk. It's pretty flexible, which is why I wanted to review it first. Obviously, I've done a lot of different videos on the channel so far, covering different game systems. And so because this is pretty flexible and it will work for those other games, I figured I would review it first. Sorry for that. Now, I am reviewing the two terrain sets together, basically because with the exception of some of the tokens between the Wildfire and the Caldstrom set, the sets are almost identical in this case, because Wildfire uses the 3rd edition tokens and Caldstrom uses the 4th edition tokens. A lot of them overlap, so if you do play Infinity, you can actually reuse a lot of the tokens. But for the most part, what I'm worried about is the buildings that you get, and the builds for the buildings are identical. The designs are the same, but the buildings are identical. As far as looking at the actual sheets, I will be using the Wildfire sheets because I have actually already punched the buildings from the Caldstrom set, and I'll get into that when I actually review the buildings themselves. So, as I said, these sets were originally released the first one was released with Operation Wildfire. That's the Salvora set. That's from Infinity N3, and the Caldstrom Colonial Settlement is from Operation Caldstrom, which is for Infinity N4 or Code 1. For each one, you're going to get 8 cardboard sheets, which are all the parts for the buildings, the game tokens, and the game templates. And you also receive 1 paper playmat that is 24 by 32, which I think is the same size as the new playing boards for 40K. So if you play that game, want some different terrain, here's another option for you. So let's look at what we get in the pack. So all the instructions are printed on the inside of this little, I'm going to call it a slip cover, even though it's, I don't know what you call it specifically. We're calling it a slip cover. But it does give you descriptions on how to assemble everything. Everything is double-sided, so you can actually there's a version that will print or be assembled the reverse because of the way it's printed. But you get 2 small buildings, 2 large buildings, and then the extra stuff. So this is our playmat. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I do not have a lot of room in my little recording area, but I'll do what I can to at least get you a little bit of a look. So it's printed very well. It's got really good colors. This is, I believe, the O12 headquarters. On the back, you get a poster, so if you don't want the playmat, you have stuff to put up on your wall. Big Stompy Robots. I am a huge fan of Big Stompy Robots. All right. We've got our tokens and blast templates. So, double-sided. Actually, I'll flip it this way so you can see all of them. These are silhouette markers, so you can, kind of see what area a model occupies to see if you can shoot at it or not. Blast and smoke templates. We've got flamer templates, more silhouettes, more tokens. Again, these are included in starter sets, so they also include rulers, 1 in centimeters and 1 in inches. Some of the barricades that you get. So if you look, these are... It's a little soft as far as the printing's concerned. It would be nice if it was a little bit sharper, but honestly, I'm really not complaining. That's just pointing it out. If you look, there's just lots of great detail in all of this. These are, they call them holo ads, so basically just holographic advertisement boards. Entrance to the conference hall. So we'll look at some of the different prints for Caldstrom when I actually look at the assembled buildings, because I've got comments on those as well. So yeah, really good look on the detail here. Let's try that way. There we go. And like I said, everything is double-sided, so you can choose how you want to assemble it. Now, I mean, unfortunately, they very much, like, side A is going to look very different from side B, so it's not really something that you'll want to mix and match. Otherwise, it does look very, very different. But overall, just really good detail on these. And here's our last one. So with both kits, like I said, you do have the option to do 2 large buildings, 2 small buildings. what I said were the hollow ads the first time are actually the public consoles. So basically kind of like just computer terminals, like mall directories if, you still go to malls. The hollow ads are just some larger barricades, and then the blast barriers are some smaller barricades. So let's take a look at what they look like assembled. We'll start with, have them just off camera. We'll start with the large building. So now these all come out of the Operation Kaldstrom set. So this is our science lab. I think the printing was done a little bit better on this set. Obviously, it's the second one, so they're going to have learned things. You can see a little damage there from when I assembled it. When I get into the actual review, well, I'll just say it now. I like the buildings. I like the way that they look. I like the way that they are put together, but they are not the easiest to assemble. You can see some damage where I had to kind of squeeze things, push things around in order to get it to fit in. And basically that is the case with all the buildings. So you can see some pretty significant damage on that one. I don't know if I'm just assembling them wrong or what, but it is definitely a drawback to what is otherwise a fantastic product. Like I said, I like the way they look. I like how they sit on the table. These are super durable. I mean, I'm not trying to throw them like a football, but I actually have, he's a little busted up, but I actually have the Hawk Islam bot tag guy thing. I forget what his name is. And he's just a giant lump of metal, and as you can see, he sits on this thing no problem. The fact that they are that durable, this thing is just if you've ever seen this model, it is a solid, I mean, it's not solid, it's multiple pieces, but it is just a beast of a model and weighs a lot. So the fact that they designed this, that even the largest of their models can sit on it and not damage the building is fantastic. I really like that. I just wish they were easier to assemble. Now, one thing that they did as well that I think is pretty nice is you can stack the buildings. So I've now just changed this large building into a very large building with now, with now 3 levels of play. There's the ground, the first roof, and the second roof. You have staircases for the entire route, which, if you don't knock the building, the models can stand on without any issues. So, I mean, this is great. Let's see. Here's one of the hollow ads. Just some simple little feet. Keep it upright. A little under 2 inches tall, as you can see. And then we've got some of these. I mean, who doesn't need snowmobile parking, which are just under 1 inch tall? So, but you get a mountain of them. The public consoles, little triangle shape. They are again, double-sided, but, essentially, you're going to build one and you're going to leave it. I do wish that they came apart easier so that I could change up the terrain if I wanted to. But I'll be honest, at the price point, it's not unreasonable to go get a second set. I just haven't done it. So you get 2 of those, 2 each of these. Two each of these. Actually, I'll take one of that. So there. That's everything you get doubled per set. Okay. The cost is $34.99 US or $29.99 euros. They are a Spanish company, so obviously if you go to their website, you're going to see their pricing in euros. I do wish these were a bit easier to disassemble, but otherwise, I'm really not complaining. So, short answer, if you need some inexpensive, great-looking terrain, I highly recommend you pick up the Wildfire or Caldstrom terrain sets. The Salvora, sorry, I have it in here. The Salvora Governmental Complex or the Caldstrom Colonial Settlement Scenery Packs. One other thing I do want to point out, each one actually has a terrain expansion that includes more buildings, a sniper tower, lots of scattered terrain, additional bits. I believe those are about $30 US as well. So, short answer, I really like this terrain. I think its greatest strength is the fact that it is so cost effective and usable across many, many different game systems. So I think it's a great thing if you want to add some more terrain to your personal collection. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please go ahead and like the video. I will be doing more Infinity content just as my brain kind of drags me to it. So please subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when that happens. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.